Ovation from Looking Glass Workshop. There is your designer. Let's get this flipped over. Become one of the greatest classical composers of all time. Travel to Western Europe in the era where artists balanced artistry with the whims of the nobility. Manage your creative inspiration, satisfy your patrons' fickle fancies, and use your wealth of experience to build turns to a dramatic crescendo. Secure your legacy in Ovation. Engine building, positive player interaction, resource management, card drafting, and becoming a maestro. 10 and up, 1 to 4 players, 40 to 60 minutes. There's the rest of your credits. So, let's open it up. Alright, so we have your player boards. These are double layered between the piano keys. There's the composer, their lifespan, what their special ability is, the 4 actions you'll be able to take, and then on the back, each one does have a biography. So you have Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Joseph Belloni, Mariana Martinez, Ludwig van Beethoven, and Franz Joseph Haydn. Now we have our rule book. Let me get my fingers in there. Oh my goodness, it's not coming out. Why not? There we go. So there's your whole synopsis again. Your components and your game setup. Gameplay, main actions, seeking inspiration, seeking fortune, seeking patronage, perform, attending a performance, your card abilities. Here's the examples, example 2, example 3, your free actions, the end of turn, the game end, the legacy points, composer special abilities, the magnum opus module, rules for solo play. There's all of that. Free actions, game end, solo game reference aid, credits and thanks, and then the quick reference. Alright, so here are your composer pieces. You'll be using these when you select which action you're going to be performing. So there's one in all of those colors. Here are the inspiration that you'll be seeking and moving along your piano board. Each player gets one of each. You have joy, passion, and sorrow. You have a first player marker. You have musical notes. If you stick around for the how to play, you'll see what these are used for. Get these nice wood musical notes. So next up, we have a deck of small cards. Let's go like this really quick. So these are your maestro cards. So these are what you're going to be working towards each game. And these will be the game end trigger when there's only 2 left. And there's certain ones put out based on number of players. I believe it is 2 plus the number of players. But again, the how to play will tell you all of that information that you seek. Just a couple more. There we go. And then the tickets, I'm not going to lay out every single one. I'm just going to kind of spread them out. So it's basically there's cards with each inspiration on it, because you can discard 2 of these to get 1 inspiration, or at the end of the game 2 of them are 1 point. So those are the tickets. Then there is a bunch of cards. I think I just shoved the rival underneath. Let's go like this and like so. And I have cards upon cards. I really should get these bagged in here. There we go. There's the rival cards. So these are for the solo play. And then let's look at these magnum opuses really quick before I get all the other cards laid out. So the magnum opus, if you play with this module, each person gets their 3 magnum opuses, and then they're able to perform 1, and then that's an alternative end game trigger, is if everyone plays their magnum opus. So let me just go through these really quick for you. And I'll explain more about the anatomy of these cards in the how to play. So there's that. So now we have fortune cards, we have patron cards, we have chamber music, we have concert music. So I'll probably lay these out, and then we'll skip to these, and then we'll have the how to play. Alright, here are your fortune cards. These are going to be going into by the actions and then triggering a la engine building. And your big icon here kind of shows what the action is going to be that it gives you. And then up in the star, that's going to be end of game points, your legacy points. Down here is how much it costs. Then over here we have your patrons. So patrons are either going to increase the abilities of your fortune, or is going to be end of game points, preferring one thing and not liking something else. Here is all of those. And I do want to highlight one of them. Where are they at? Up here. Lady Belle, this was a misprint. That is supposed to be yellow cards, so she dislikes red and likes yellow. So that is all the fortune and patron cards. Let's get that music laid out. So we're going to start with your concert music. So this is the type of music it is. If it's got an instrument and the game points, what you need to spend. This is also what your opponents can get if they attend your concert. So this is all of your concert music. And then jumping over here, we have the chamber music. So these do have a prerequisite of something else that you've done before. So like this one needs you to have done a yellow piece of music. And then otherwise, everything else on here is the same layout as the other one. So there is all of the chamber music. Alright, stick around for how to play this. Set up here for Ovation. So you are going to shuffle each of the 4 decks separately, make a display of 5 cards for each deck. You're going to grab a number of Maestro cards equal to the number of players plus 2. Put those up there. You're going to shuffle up the ticket cards and put them so everyone can reach them. You're going to create a supply of music notes. Each player is going to get a player board, their player piece in that color, 1 musical note, 1 of each inspiration put at the 1 spot. And if you're playing with the Magnum Opus module, you will give them their 3 Magnum Opus cards. To play the game, you're going to be taking actions at the top of your board. After you do the actions, you will trigger cards above them based on how many musical notes you have, and you'll be going back and forth until 2 of these are remaining. The 4 actions are, first one is Seek Inspiration. This is you can move up 2 of your inspirations 1 spot, or 1 of your inspirations 2 spots. Seek Fortune. You are going to buy one of the fortune cards. The cost to buy them is at the bottom. This is a mixture of any of the inspirations. So this one needs 2, this one needs 1, this one needs 4. You can spend the inspiration like so, and then grab one of them. There is an icon in this upper corner here. That is going to denote which action it goes under. So if I choose to buy this one, this would slide under my board under the Seek Inspiration. You are going to refill the market at the end of your turn. Seek Patronage is going to be very similar to Seek Fortune, except you're going to seek one of these patrons. Their cost, again, is denoted at the bottom. However, there are 2 different types of patrons. This first patron is going to be looking for sorrowful music and doesn't like joyful music. So if you purchase this patron, you're going to put them to the side of their board, and then you'll be scoring legacy points, which are end game points, based on his likes and dislikes at the end of the game. The other type of patron you have goes under your Seek Fortune slot and then gives you a bonus. So if we would have spent our 1, we would put this person under our Seek Fortune like this. It'd be the end of our turn and we would flip over. The last action you can do is you can perform. when you perform, you're going to choose either chamber music or concert music based on what you can afford. And then you will be performing it by spending the specific colored icons underneath. Each composer has a special ability that will relate to when they perform. So Hayden's is, I can spend one less inspiration for any concert music. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at these cards. So this is the basic one. This is chamber music. Again, this is the cost. 3 passion, 2 joy. It's going to be 5 points. This is piano music, and then this would be considered a passion music. The opera requires you to have a passion music already performed. So if you had already performed this, you'd be eligible to do this one. This again costs 3 passion and 2 joy. This will be an opera, again a passion music, and then end of game points. So we'll just imagine I had enough to, say, do this piano duet. I would grab the piano duet. I would then ask everyone else if they would like to attend my concert. You're going to ask the person to your left and to your right. For each person who does, they are going to draw a ticket and give it to you, and then they are going to get the symbol that is listed here. So in this instance, they would get 1 blue. In the instance of this opera here, they would get a yellow and a red, and you now have this ticket card. The ticket card is part of a free action. If you have 2 tickets that show the yellow icon on it, you can discard both of them to push up your yellow 1 spot. Otherwise, every 2 tickets, regardless of symbol, are going to be 1 point at the end of the game. And in addition to performing the music, you also now have another music note, which will allow you to trigger more cards. Jumping ahead to this point, I want to kind of show you how you trigger and do the engine building and move around on the board. So I've kind of set up a mock board. You may not get to this level, but I just want to kind of show you what one of the big turns may look like. So I'll have 5 pieces of music. So one of the free actions is you can claim a maestro card. So I claimed that because I have 5 pieces of music. So once one more is claimed, and the game will be triggered, and then it'll be equal number of turns. So on my turn, let's say I go to perform. So now I can perform. I'm going to look out here, and my card here shows that if I perform a woodwind, I can then take a fortune action. So we are going to perform this woodwind trio. We spend our 4. We grab the woodwind trio. We ask, does anyone want to attend? They say no. We get 1 more musical note. We are then going to put the musical note on here. Now this lets me take the fortune action. So we move my piece over here. In order to trigger the stuff above, you need to do the action. So now I can do a fortune action. Well, I'm just going to spend 1 to grab this one right here. This goes under the perform. I now can spend these. I'm going to spend this to get a +1 yellow. I'm going to put this here, which will let me move over to seek inspiration. So now I can seek my inspiration. I'm going to move my red up and my blue. Looking up here, what these symbols mean with the arrow is I need to have moved these up on the track this turn. So I did move my red. So that gives me an additional red. So now I have 2 options. I can trigger my blue, which will let me come back to seek fortune. Instead, I am going to trigger this one. I moved up my red. This allows me to go over to seek patronage. So now I can seek a patron. We're going to look out here, and based on it, I don't want him. So let's just, for example, spend our 3 to grab him, which puts him under fortune. I can now spend this to move back to seek inspiration, which I can say, you know what, let's move up that one and move up that one. And then because I have this left and I have performed this and my blue is moved up, I technically could jump over here to seek fortune and get another fortune card. And then if I had a musical note, I could jump over to perform again and so forth. So that is the big chaining actions you can get. And then I'd look, I've spent 5 musical notes in 1 turn, which means I would claim that one. Triggering the end of the game, I was first player, so my opponent would have 1 more shot. So there are 3 free actions in the game. I've already gone over the one of grabbing the maestro card. The second is you can permanently discard a music note to wipe any of the rows. So let me just refill these. So I discard that, and we'll say I wasn't a fan of these patrons, so we discard this and then deal out 5 new cards. And the third one I also already went over is if you have 2 of the same colored tickets, you can discard those to push yourself up 1 on the track. At the end of the game, you are going to score points for all of your performed music, points on your cards up here, points on your collected Maestro cards, and then every 2 tickets, regardless of symbol on the other side, are going to be a point. Most points wins the game. So that is how you play Ovation. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you'll go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell down below. Also down below we have a link to our new thing. We have a Ko-fi where you can go ahead and just buy me a drink to support the channel and all that we do. So, until next time, la 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 la.